Abby's View. Almost ever since I became the last remaining dog, Laura and Dan take me on walks outside of the gate with no restraints. Down the road we go. They tried once or twice while we were all together. Bella and I would have to put on collars to which they would attach a leash. Cassie never had to wear one because she would listen and never go very far out of sight. Bella and I would take off like madmen at the first chance. All bets were off when we got outside of our property. Laura and Dan obviously knew that about us, a lesson they learned over and over when we would escape. Thus the collars and leash. They only took us out a couple of times. Even with the collars and the leashes, we could not quite grasp the concept of walking nicely and would be straining and fighting and trying our best to get away. To this day, I cannot explain what came over us and why we would behave so horrendously. I just know we did. There I go again, forgetting what I was talking about and going off in a different direction. I wanted to tell you about this one very special walk we had one day. Almost magical. I've gone on the same walk with Laura and Dan countless times. Out the gate and north we turn. We have gone to the south once or twice, but that is the way to civilization. It is a shorter walk before we turn around because there are other houses and people and multiple distractions in that direction. Also, that is the direction in which I was trapped for several hours, and it was nightfall before Dan finally found and rescued me. Thirsty, weary, frightened, and shaking was the state he found me in. I don't like going that way. Maybe one day, when the memory is not so raw, I will tell you the tale in its entirety. North is the direction we would take, past the neighbor's driveway, down the hill where the stream flows from our fields in the east, under the road, through the culvert, to join the flowing waters way down in the ravine just to the west of the road. There are often deer down in the ravine that get startled as we walk by. Up they bound, crashing and thrashing and leaping for better cover. I never go after them, so I'm not completely sure why they run. I usually trot right to the edge, but I know it is way too steep for me and wouldn't attempt to follow them. Laura and Dan seem to get in a panic every now and then and tell me no. I look at them and tell them once again, like I have many times, I have no intention of going down there. It's all good. On we go, around the big curve and down the next hill. I am much quicker than they are, so I usually have to turn around and come back past the curve to take a peek and make sure they're coming. They wave and smile and say, "We're coming." On and on we go, past more streams and fields, past cabins and cliffs. I stop and visit many of the same spots, and I'm always alert for new sights and smells. Laura and Dan don't veer from the road, but I tend to detour every now and then. I always stay within sight of them, almost always. I could go on and on, but I wanted to tell you about this special day.